What's up, everyone? Welcome back to A Line in the Stars. I'm Jordan, and welcome back to another episode of Fett's Vette. Oh man, this is so cool building this model. I've been doing my research. I have looked at, feel bad for me, but I've watched a little bit of Clone Wars, or not the Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, wow, and a little bit of Mandalorian as well, just to kind of catch, and Boba Fett, to be real. Like, I was kind of catching little glimpses and little pieces what I could gather to take a look and really put together a good plan for the paint on the back of the ship. And I think what we're going to be doing today is going to be screen accurate minus weathering, where we'll worry about weathering after we have done the majority of our model build. Basically, I think weathering will be one of the very last steps that we do. So I do want to catch you guys up before we start painting the back of the model. I was able to finish up the rest of the primer, this time completely outside, and it was a good thing, thank God. It took all of like 3 minutes, and the neighbors wouldn't have known, we wouldn't have known, the house definitely wouldn't have known. So yeah, it was good to do it outside. So we'll go ahead and take a look here. All of our pieces, once again, the primer just worked beautifully. Overall, I'm really pleased with the quality of the primer. I've been saying Tamaya, and I believe it's Tamiya. They make amazing products, and their primer is no different. This was such a satisfying process. So this one looks great. And then we have Boba Fett's little seat and rotating chair assembly that we got. That one turned out actually really good. I had to get into the corners. There was a bunch of light bleed. Now, obviously, we're not going to be doing any like paint or like lighting of this, but I wanted to make sure that the model is like very, thoroughly painted. And I went ahead and as well painted back behind. Now, the one thing I noticed during this process is each one of the parts, the big ones, have part numbers written on the back of them, which is super cool. So now we have this piece here, which is, I believe, the front of the ship. And I think the turrets are going to be right here. And then we're going to be doing a little bit of painting on this sprue. We're going to be painting the engines, and we're going to start there today, actually, after I show you the piece where we're going to be doing most of our work. But I went ahead and mixed up the color for the engine assemblies, and basically that we have, being that there are two sets of engines on here, I want to make sure that both the assemblies, the paint wound up being exactly the same. So we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of painting here on our main sprue, and this one actually turned out really, really well. Once again, like, all of this whole painting process has been just amazing. And now on our stand, we have our rear of the ship. And yeah, this is a really nice piece. Overall, there's a lot of detail, but there's not a whole lot of detail work that we're going to be painting. For the most part, it's just solid colors. I will pick out some highlighting later on as we get into like detail painting. But what we're going to be doing here is going to be basically getting screen accurate on the back here for all the base colors of Fett's Vette. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and start, though. The third engine, by the way, real quick, is this surrounding piece right here. So we're going to be starting over on the other sprue. I'm going to set it up so it can dry, and then we're going to go ahead and come back over here, and we're going to be applying the color there, the goldish color. And then from there, we're going to be going into the detail work with our dark gray. And then we're going to be coming around with our khaki olive-ish color. So yeah, that's where we're all going to start. So let's go ahead and pull our other piece back here real fast. And I'm going to grab my little table thingy here. And it has built-in clips, which is kind of cool. And I'm just going to find some spots to clip onto that are not the model itself, Jordan. That would not be good. I love these little model stands. So this is our color that I created. It's kind of a goldish, copperish color. I just wanted out. It was not pure gold, so let's go ahead and get our brush unloaded. And this is airbrush paint, so hopefully it goes on real nice. And that it does. Yeah. It's been pretty cool, like studying the model itself, like trying to like look at where we're going to be painting things and like having an actual detailed plan for painting. Really focusing on the quality of paintwork these days is what I'm going to be doing. You know, I wasn't too pleased, if I'm being real, with the paint quality on the Marauder. Now, I'm not being very fair to myself. Now, also as well, I'm only going to give this one coat. I want some of that primer color to come through. These are engine pods, and I want that effect of heat, I don't know, dissipation, whatever that effect is called. So, but anyway, the thing that, like, it was that I know and that I understand is that, you know, it was my very first scale model that I've done on this channel. It is the first time that I had painted a model since I was a kid. And so, you know, I'm not being super fair to myself, but at the same time, you know, if I'm being real, one of the things that I wasn't too happy with was just the overall quality of the paint. I was learning how to use the airbrush on that thing, and man, the Marauder had like 4 different types of glue. The thing was an experiment, you know, and it turned out really good, and we're still going to come back to it, you know, with some weathering work after we've practiced it on this model. But, you know, the thing is like, I was looking at it the other day, and I'm just like, oh, you did that, didn't you? You didn't bother to clean up that part, did you? And so we are going to go through, and I am not satisfied with the work that was done on that. So when we go through and get our weathering done, we're also going to come in and do some cleanup paint work on the model as well. Because ultimately, in the end, I want to be really proud of all the work that we've done. And I'm proud of the model. But I've gotten considerably better at all of the things since I built that. And what's funny about that to me is that it was only just a month or 2 ago. And my skills have gotten so much better. And, you know, once again, so the Tony Stark effect, you know, if you're able to spend money on proper equipment, which I've done, it makes you a superhero. So, and in this case, you know, having the proper, like this turntable, just being able to do this is awesome to me. You know, like it's a super satisfying thing. And, you know, for me, like, having all the tools that I need to be able to make these models has been the big difference in getting my office set up and the special recording area that I've set up. And, you know, like getting all of these things together has been extraordinarily satisfying. And, you know, for me, like, to be able to see the results of practice and the results of, you know, spending proper money on proper things and the immediate impact that they have, you know, like, once again, like I said, kid me would be blown away and astonished. And I just can't wait to see what's next. So, on that front, as I babbled on, there we got our paint on there, and I'll go ahead and just kind of get a little bit close there. And like I said, I want to just one coat it. I don't want to go too crazy on it. I want some of that primer color to shine through. I think it's going to give it a nice weathered and how would you put it? Just that burnished effect of, you know, like too much heat on the metal. So yeah, I think that's going to be good. So there we got that, our sprue for the week. And we'll be back to working on some of our parts here next week. So let's go ahead and set her off to the side so she can dry. And realized doing this with a paintbrush in my hand was kind of not genius. So we are going to go ahead and paint gold through the outside and the inside, not getting on the inside there. And we're going to be doing the same thing for around the outside of the ring. And then we're going to be going dark gray on the base inside there. So let's go ahead and get the easy parts done first. Now once again, I'm only going to be one coating this. And I'm going super heavy and thick, trying to make sure I get enough paint coverage. And so that really it's only the brush strokes that are creating kind of the gaps in the paint, so to say. Now, this is not a technique that I've learned from anybody. It's just what I've determined after seeing about 3 seconds of the other engines and seeing what the quality of that was. And I'm like, oh, yep, nope, we're doing that. So, tips and tricks. I've been getting a lot of really good ones lately. And I got to say, I'm super appreciative of it. And, you guys have any cool ideas for this sort of thing? If this works, let me know. I would say the question for this week is, did my technique for the gold work for you guys? Curious. I'll show this to you. I know you can't see really much of what I'm doing right now. I'll show this to you here in a second. Get around. Down and in. And this is a really kind of loose brush. I have no idea. I know all these brushes have different, most brushes have names and all of that. I have no clue. I'll learn, but no clue. So this really loose brush, all loosey-goosey, is really working well for this paint. Just kind of grabbed it. It's one of my older brushes. Just kind of grabbed it as I'm going to mix my paint with it, but then it's perfect for what we're trying to accomplish here. Kind of getting that weathered effect on the outside of it. I am going to make sure to not do that. I'm going to try to make sure I get good coverage across the top, of course. But, yeah, I like the way that looks. We're going to be using some of my new brushes for the first time actually today, and I'm super excited about it. I did purchase a new set, like I said, and I did not cheap out. I bought some good ones. These are the cheap ones from the hobby store, and I see why people spend money on brushes and why it's important. Okay. So let's get down inside the crack there. Making sure I'm pushing until I can feel it touch the bottom. Yeah, to be honest, I really do like brush painting with airbrush paint, and it's fascinating to me. It goes on really nice. Especially when it's not thinned out like it's supposed to be through the brush. Okay. So, even that out. And I will come back with a little bit more paint on that one. We have a little bit of a bristle. These brushes suck. I'm likely just going to throw this one away after we're done. I'm being real. They leave behind bristles. Oh, I see that. I got in there real nice. This turntable is making my painting life so amazingly easy. I'm not going to put these inside. Well, I say that. This one is likely... Oof, a little extra excess paint there. This one is likely going to go into the jank booth, as I like to call it, the paint booth thing that I have. As I have a model car that I'm doing for myself that I just picked up today, actually. I say that. I'm going to have a model car that I'm going to be building here soon. Still kind of finishing up the Shelby GT, the Eleanor car that I'm building. I'll show you guys when I'm done. I just got to finish a little bit of the paint touch-up, really. But this one that I picked up is a Gen 3 Nissan Skyline. Besides Star Wars and Star Trek and models, I'm super into cars. The Skyline is one of my favorites of all time. Especially the Gen 3. Okay, so now let's come back around the outside. Get a second coat, which it needs. Especially to even it out after all the push down brushing that I did. I do recommend one of these turntable setups for you guys if you don't have one already. It's the Tamiya brush or Air Friend or something like that. Sorry. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but it was like 23 bucks at my hobby shop. And it came with the 2 stands. And let me tell you, it just makes a world of difference. I will use a janky paint booth. Not for much longer, but I will use a janky paint booth. I will not use a janky painting equipment anymore. That's for sure. There's something really nice about this. The level of detail on this model. Also, as well, real quick, going back to the Tamiya thing. The Skyline is a Tamiya model, and I have never built a Tamiya model. It's a brand new line that just came out. And I can tell you, after unboxing it, looking at the instructions, all of the things that they did with it, oh man, it's amazing the level of detail that it goes into. I'm really impressed. It's going to be a super fun model to build. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry before we come back to it. It's a little still on the uneven side, and I'll kind of show you what I mean here. I'll lift it up and pull it off the stand, so you can kind of see that the weathering effect is there, but because of much of a bigger surface, I need to kind of like get the low points brought back up top. And anything after the second coat, I'm going to be totally happy with. So, now, let's go ahead and move on to our greenish khaki-ish color. And so I have a lacquer NATO green that I'm going to use, but I don't have a lacquer like cleaner. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to approach this, and I think I'm going to try. And to do that, I'm not going to sacrifice one of my nice brushes. So that's how we're going to do that. So we have the Tamiya Lacquer NATO Green. So that's what we're going to be using as our green. But real quick, I get ahead of myself. We are going to be doing our gray first, and that's where we're going to be using our nice brush. So we're going to go ahead and get our Phantom Gray, which is the base coat for the Marauder. Cool. So we're going to start up here around, I'm going to stay away from there. I'm going to come back down this way. We're going to get down into the groove here. And these are detail brushes, which is something that I was looking for specifically. I want to be able to get down into tight surfaces and get good coverage, and that's what I was not able to do with my last brush set. You got to spend money on brushes. Really, you got to be able to spend money on building models, and it's kind of a thing that I realize that I guess is great, but also kind of sucks, you know, for kids that don't have, like, for me, like, building models as a kid was like a big part of my childhood. Obviously, like, I'm still doing it today. You know, but oh, no, that's fine. We can weather it up a little bit. It's good. But it's not super accessible for kids, and I'm kind of realizing that now. I mean, it is if you have money, and so yeah, it's just kind of the one thing where I do feel kind of bad for the kids about it. But you know, it's what it is, and I'm just a big dumb kid myself, so I guess it works. I just spend my hard-earned money on this. Okay, let's go ahead and move a little bit quicker. I was being a little careful. Just kind of seeing how the brush worked. I need to do my research on different paint types. That was one thing about the Tamiya model, the Skyline model that I opened. I was kind of surprised that there was, like, they had this whole description, like the opening pamphlet in front of the instructions was tips and tricks for building models. And so, of course, old Jordan read that one hard. And they were talking about the different types of paint and how what applications the paint's supposed to be used for. And I was like, whoa. It was super informative. And so now I need to do my research and try to understand. I like, with the lacquer NATO green, I'm like, oh, cool. It's green. It's the green that I want. And then I get home and I'm like, oh, it's lacquer. I only have enamel and air. So, yeah. I need to figure out, like, how that all cleans up and what have you. So, we'll get that figured out before next time. Yeah. I do have a smaller detail brush, but it doesn't seem like I'm needing it too much. I'm able to get by with this just fine. Yeah, these brushes are super nice, coupled with the paint. And in the next episode, what we will do, I'm going to second coat I'm going to second coat the gold, and then we'll second coat the rest in the next episode. We're going to be deliberate with the way that we approach this model, focusing on high quality versus, quickness. I think that's going to be an important factor here. This series will be around for a little while. But the one afterwards, oh, I can't wait. Cannot wait. And I am going to take my time a little bit with this model. I'm going to get a few episodes ahead, and I'm going to watch for tips and tricks, basically. A few episodes ahead, I need to get there. Just from a sanity point. As of recording right now, I'm about 2 weeks ahead. So, yeah. And for me, that's the key with my job. I manage 2 restaurants. And so I got to be very careful with my time. Thankfully, both restaurants are doing well. So I have a little bit more time for this. Hence the more videos. And I want to maintain that. And so in order to maintain that, I got to work real hard. I edit in the mornings before I work, and then I shoot at night. And it seems to be working pretty well. I edit better in the mornings. And I'm not just sitting there watching TV. So, I get up way too early. Okay, so now, where's our next gray going to go? It's going to go along the inside of there. I think I should catch that before we get our second coat on. And then where we have a little bit is going to be down here along these grills. Be careful not to get any on the base coat right there. Ooh, that's fine. A little bit of weathering is going to be totally fine right there. As Bob Ross said, happy accidents. Man, this turntable. Being able to have a solid surface for it to sit on and be able to just move it around like a moment's notice like this is so nice. Okay, so gonna need a second coat later on. All right, where else do we have our gray? I think, except for along the top here, I think I'm gonna go along the base here, and we'll see how this one does. Unload my brush a little bit. Let's see how this one does. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Went down just the way I wanted it to. Also, you'll all be happy to know the tester's putty has been thrown in the trash. Yeah. Picked up the Tamiya white. You guys haven't figured out I really love Tamiya. So, anything that I can get of theirs, I will. And the Tamiya white is the best rated putty for the cost. So, that's what we went with. Man, these brushes. you guys hear it when I eat. I'm a heathen. I like a good thing. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Just a little bit on the inside here. And the thing that I really like about the airbrush paint with a brush is the way it goes on. And I'm going to clean that up, obviously, but I'm not too worried about any of this overdone, I say. Because we are going to weather it once again, and this is all just going to help with the effect. So, okay. So that's our gray. I'm going to clean my brush. I'll be right back. Okay, so let's go ahead and come back with our gold. I say gold, it's kind of like a copperish color. I don't know. It is goldy. It's just kind of got a bit of a red tinge to it. From the bronze. Oh, yeah. That's not good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Second coat's super necessary on that one. Oh, that looks so good. Outside. Let's get on the inside. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was good. Oh, yeah. I love when you paint my little model. Sorry, that was really bad. But you know what I mean. Thick right there, and so I kind of gave it a glob. Okay. Let's see how. Oh yeah, no, those turned out really good. Yeah. So. That's our engine pieces that were painted first. It turned out really good. Nice after they've been dried. Yeah, that turned out really good. I'm really pleased with that effect. I feel that yeah, that's a pretty awesome thing right there. So awesome. And now let's go ahead and pull that away. And I am going to let this dry for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to come back with a little bit more of the gold and just go ahead and clean up. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. And as you can see, our gold there. Ooh, I didn't see that. There's some dark gray here along the inside. Yeah. Gonna need to. Although that gave it a really nice effect. Huh. Huh. Yeah, I gave it kind of a nice effect down there. Kind of I'm dirty. Not Christina Aguilera dirty, but well, Christina Aguilera from the early 2000s dirty. God. What a reference, Jordan. Alright, you guys. I thought about leaving. I even did the outro. I even walked away. I even ate dinner. And I'm like, it's just too boring. I put 2 colors on. It's not enough. It's not the back of Fett's Vette. So, we need to finish this. Now, in order to do so, however, I am going to go ahead and sacrifice a paintbrush. And that's fine. I am honestly totally fine with that. These old paintbrushes are just kind of like crappy anyway, so I want this to look good, and I want it to be a good episode, so we're going to go ahead and bust out the lacquer. Ooh, that's a smell. So I grab hopefully I can use this brush and another. The one brush I messed up the very first time I painted. So I aggressively cleaned it. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our green down. Oh yeah, no, it's a good color. Oh, that's a real good color. I'm super happy with that. Definitely willing to sacrifice a brush for that. Absolutely. And I will try various, chemicals to try to get this cleaned up, but I also really could care less. I need to go pick up some lacquer thinner. I need to make sure that I have all the thinners in all the different types. I have airbrush thinner and enamel thinner, but I don't have lacquer or acrylic thinner. So I need to make sure I get all that. Although I don't have any acrylic. No, it's not true. I do have acrylic paint. The clears. But you can just use acetone for that. And I actually have some for my girlfriend. So. Yeah, I just couldn't leave. So I'm definitely going to be editing down what was going to be the original episode there. But hey, I wanted to do a more thorough job for you guys today. Okay. I did get the other coats of the gold on, and it turned out okay. Ooh. I can't get off of that spot. Yeah, it turned out okay. Not like superbly pleased, but I'll show it up to the camera here before we go. That's one thing I did do at the end of the video that we won't see. The what was. Trying to be precise with a brush that's not precise. And managing to succeed. I'm going to kind of take this and pick it up and get down into the grooves. I can tell you this, lacquer goes on real nice. And it has a bit of that clearing effect or clear effect. It's going to help us weather up the model a little bit, I think. Wow. Yeah, there we go. So let's make sure we get along the side here. Wow, okay. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Let's go ahead and give her a turn. Yeah, this lacquer is a nice paint. Never painted with it before. It's an interesting smell. That's for certain. Not a bad smell. The Testers is a particularly bad smell. Enamel is a rough, rough smell. Headache inducing for sure. Well, kind of sad about getting rid of this brush because it's painting really nice. But it's what it is. I'll put it through some acetone. You know, see how that works. It's actually painting pretty nice. Impressed. Could be the paint too. I'm glad I decided to do this because this is much more satisfying to me. I was just looking at it while I was offloading the video, letting it dry and all that, and I'm just like, you're not done yet, dude. Didn't set out what you accomplished to do today. So, we do what we accomplished. What did that even mean? So we did what we set out to do. Let's get this video out properly. Not cutting corners. Now, if this was at the sacrifice of one of my nice brushes, I would have waited until tomorrow to finish editing it. I'm not in a hurry to release this one. As of recording, it's about a week and a half away from release. Very nice. Okay. So now the next part that's green is going to be up along the sides here. We get the side. Let's make sure we do it. There we go. So now let's get up here. I'm going to be careful around the edges, because this stays base coat color. Kitten just barged in. She's like, yep, you're not doing things. So funny. The door's cracked open enough for us, but she just jumps through the door. Old Soji. I call them kittens. They're about a year and a half old now. Still very much kittens, though. She's currently just tearing around the house, being very much a kitten. So, yeah. They're the best things. We each got sisters from the same litter before we moved in together, my girlfriend and I. And about 6 months later, they're finally like, okay with each other. Both kind of territorial cats. It's kind of interesting. Well, they're good cats. And if you haven't caught their names before, it's Soji and Mochi. My kitten's Soji. Her kitten's Mochi. They made an appearance in the Venator class finale video. The very end, the beauty shots. And Soju recently made an appearance during the unpacking video for the 1701D, which was pretty funny. At least to me. She was super curious. I was super excited. Weeks and weeks and weeks of waiting. And so she had to get involved. Yeah, I did a good job choosing the screen, by the way. It's perfect for the ship. You know, I'm really liking this lacquer paint. It goes on real nice. Super clean. Yep, NATO green from Tamiya. Apparently lacquer. I did not even pay attention. I'm going to try to save this brush. It's actually painting really well, but we have to toss it. We have to toss it. No worries. Wonder if acetone will work. Wonder if that'll set the house on fire. Alright, so the last little bit that we're going to paint green is going to be right here along both edges. And then that will be an episode. I would be much more pleased with that. Because beyond that, outside of like extreme detail work where we like weather and pick out some of our highlights, like pipes and stuff like that. And this is the back, pretty much all painted and done. It's kind of crazy to think about, but it is. And it says just leave this base coat gray. I think I'm going to get back in here when we do that final detail painting, and we're going to come in here and detail paint like all the little grills and all of that jazz. I want to do a really, really, really high quality job on this model. Let's see if I can actually pull it off. Oh man. I was able to like drag it up against the side of the hull and did not make a mess. And you know, I'm really liking how this is drying too, and the effect that we're getting, so I'm not going to second coat it. I'm really pleased with that effect. A little bit of the gray is shining through. And I like it. That's a lot of paint. Good job, Jordan. Pull that over. And then pull it back up. Wow, that was a lot of paint. That was enough for the whole side. Say that. That'll be a little thin there at the end. There we are. Okay. Last little part over here. We'll turn the model over, and then we'll show you what we've done today. I'm gonna try to come across right here. Support my hand. Yep. Perfect. Perfect. Let's turn that over there. On the top. And we'll go and get our final one for the day. We have a bit of a longer one today, folks, but I think that's a better result than kind of leaving it half-assed for you all today. I think. There we go. Nice. Man. I'm going to get some lacquer thinner, because I am really happy with this paint, and as we are going to stick 100% with this paint for this model. And I need to remember lacquer. There we go. That was almost perfect. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this paint. I am super pleased that I came and did this extra little bit here tonight. Oop. All right, let's get the sides here. Stuff goes on super smooth. Wow. Impressive. Super impressive. Okay. Now, let's just make sure I'm going to look at my diagram here. And that looks like that, my friends. I think this is a much better result than what I was going to originally give you, and I'm pleased that I did so. Oh, let's go ahead and take a look. See if we can find some parts where I didn't paint. So there we are. That's pretty much, well, the back, according to the diagram. So yeah, this is the back. Like, it looks really good. It's as crazy as it is. Like, there's not a whole lot of, like, detail that you can pick out from what you see on the shows and what in the movies. So we will come back after everything is said and done, and we, like, not everything's said and done, but when we're in the weathering and in the next phase of the model, after building it and what have you, when we're in the phase of doing our ultra detail paint work, we're going to come in here into the fine details, and we are going to, like, get in here and get our grills painted. I can see, getting some silver and some bronze in here, and getting some highlights on our pipes and what have you. But this is the base for the rear of the model, and I think it turned out pretty good. So, just want to say thank you. I know that there was a million things that y'all could have done today, and instead you spent a couple minutes watching me build a model, which I think is pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions, comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. Oh, my friends, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world, wherever you happen to be. And just remember that the Force will be with you, always.